Of the Columbia County Industrial Development Agency. First thing on the agenda, we need a motion a second to approve the draft minutes of August 5th, 2025.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Next, we got our treasurer's report.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. You look at the back of the agenda. You'll see that on the balance sheet, we currently have $99,000 in bank accounts. And we have liabilities, including the $34,374, which includes the $31,000 accrued for CEDC's fee. When we subtract the liabilities from the cash, we have $64,000 in net equity. We are hopeful that we will have several projects in the hopper, including the Summit project, which will be presented in a moment. And we can then collect our 1% fee and clean up the receivable to CEDC and still have a couple of $100,000 in the bank. Any questions on the balance sheet? On the P&L, obviously, we're showing land sale income. We are directed by the Board of Supervisors to transfer that to CEDC. And again, that will affect the balance sheet. I neglected to point that out. You know, it will impact the overall operations. It'll reduce our cash to about $50,000, and then it will. That's why balance sheet as I presented it was not properly reflected, because it didn't reflect the fact that we had the $50,000 in there from the county. That was a piece of land we sold to Paul Harpus in the Commerce Center on behalf of the county, and they have a Board of Supervisors resolution was passed to direct the IDA to transfer that money to CEDC for future economic development purposes. Again, the ability to close the Summit project and another project which I'll bring to your attention shortly will put us back in good stead in terms of financial viability. The legal fees are minimal. Accounting fees are related to our annual audit. The accrued CEDC fee, which you see there of $9,300. Our insurance, including directors and officers coverage, is at $1,500, and we do calculate the pilot receipt separately at the bottom as income and expense. Obviously, the money comes in and we turn it back over to the respective taxing jurisdictions. We do have $31,000 in net income. Any questions on the financials? Great.
So, other questions? We're gonna need a motion, a second, approve the treasurer's report. Second. All those in favor?
Aye. We also need a resolution, Mr. Chairman, to transfer the funds received from the sale of the property in the Commerce Center from the IDA to CEDC in response to the resolution from the Board of Supervisors directing us to make that transfer.
Okay, is there any questions on that? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
One quick question for you. So we owe CEDC land sale anything with $50,000, correct?
Yeah,
And then over on the balance sheet, we owe them another 31,000 or
that's,
32,000.
we've deferred our administrative fee for a year and a half because we didn't want to, we wanted to leave something in,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
And we knew that, when a project of, a $10 million project will bring in $100,000 fee, a $20 million project will bring in,
Yeah. Mhm.
200, and we have a potential $40 million project.
Excellent.
Great. Very. For the other administrative issue, which we can come back to because we do have guests, relates to doing a RFP, for our accounting services. We are doing it, for CEDC as well. We haven't done it in 15 years. I guess you could say we did it 5 years ago when the Koski firm was purchased by UHY. The fees are getting to a level where at CETC where they're close to $40,000. And since I think it makes a lot of sense to have the same firm do all three entities. And so the CEDC board is going to approve having a RFP for accounting services at a meeting next week. So if we could do a resolution approving that, unless there's any questions.
Take a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll circulate to you the list of firms that we're looking at, so that if you want us to add someone, we can do that. I have other items on the administrative report, but with Antonio Salisbury and Alex Friedman from Summit, 27 Summit Street LLC here, and Nadine Ziegler, our special counsel for the IDA from Hudson Russ on the call. I'd like to turn it over to Alex and Antonia to do the presentation on their project, and then we'll have Nadine update us on the proposed public hearing resolution in your packet. There is a copy of the PowerPoint in your packet, and I don't know if you want to put it on the shared screen or not.
Tony, I'm going to now try to share screen with you.
And I see it up.
Here, and I'll go ahead and share the presentation. Good morning, everyone.
Michael,
Yes,
you have a quorum, correct?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 members.
okay, who's absent?
Helen Kozel.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay.
And actually, if I don't know if you were able to pull up the presentation or if I should pull it up and share my screen, but I think if I should pull it up, you would need to stop sharing your screen, but whatever works.
Yeah, just stop sharing our screen. To the red button there.
Whereabouts?
See that stop share?
Okay.
Why don't we have a copy in front of us? So why don't we just have you go ahead and then we can,
Yeah, okay, perfect.
well, go ahead, put it up there. That'd be good. As long as you're there.
There,
There we go.
technology.
You guys,
Nice.
We've been talking about for quite some time. It's an exciting project, and please go ahead with the presentation.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so our company is called A Squared Buildings. Really excited to be here. This has been a long time coming. We've been talking to Mike about this project for about 2 years. And just quick background on our company. So we renovated about 10,000 square feet of abandoned historical buildings in Hudson in Columbia County. A few years ago, it was 223 and 225 Allen Street and 205 Warren Street. And we kind of specialize in the renovation of abandoned historical buildings, vacant abandoned historical buildings, and trying to revitalize them. And so obviously when we saw this mill in Philmont, we were really excited and working towards this for a few years, and happy to be here. So the mill is a 40,000 square foot structure. Maybe some of you know it. It sits right on the creek in Philmont, overlooking the waterfall, really beautiful spot, but has been vacant for about 40 years. And so we're trying to activate the space into something new. The goal is to make it two pieces. So one is a space for events, theater, music, weddings, community events of all kinds. And there's a few really beautiful spaces in and out of the building that can house that. And we think it'll be a great addition to Philmont. In addition, we are working to put an artist in residency program on the top floor of the mill, which is one of the more beautiful floors that overlooks the waterfall. And we're trying to create a space for fiber arts. So it's an old knitting mill, so we're trying to get back to its historical roots in terms of the arts. And as obviously many of you know, in and around Philmont and throughout Columbia County, there's a lot of energy behind the arts, and we're hoping the building can be another catalyst for that programming. And obviously, those of you who know Philmont, it is a severely economically distressed village that has seen some energy in recent years, but we really think the amount of money and energy and revitalization of this building will really help Philmont and the surrounding area in a way that we're excited about. We are renovating the building as per SHPO guidelines, so we're keeping the historical structure of the building almost entirely intact. Just obviously fixing the windows, all the facade, trying to secure the outside grotto structure, which is a beautiful space for, again, the programming that we've envisioned. We also are working to make the building carbon neutral. There's been a lot of ways we've been investigating how to do that. Talked to Mike about this for years. We were not able to do hydro from the dam and the creek, but we do believe we're going to be able to do solar power in addition to all electric building, no gas, no oil, and make it obviously energy efficient as possible given the age of the structure. And last thing would be just there will be, there's a lot going on in Philmont now in terms of the community and access to High Falls and the parks and the community center along the reservoir. And we're doing everything we can to be a part of that process. And we believe this will be kind of a critical piece. When you look at the brownfield opportunity area that was created in Philmont, this structure was, front and center in that report. And we've been working with the village for many years now to make sure that, as we renovate the space, it fits into what the village is planning for the surrounding area. Economic impact, we will create about 57 jobs during the 2 years of construction. In terms of our side of things, there will be one permanent job after opening at a minimum. And the operator, which we're going to get to in a minute, is going to engage in workforce housing. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of jobs in and around Philmont. And during construction, we're going to be creating all the jobs, and after construction, our operator is going to have a lot more employment opportunities for the village of Philmont and the community. And again, sorry about the construction if you guys can hear that going around us. Not sure why they chose to do construction or office building today. But Antonia?
And so just to hop in and clarify one of the things that Alex said, that's 57 jobs per year of construction with 2 years of construction. So just tell you a little bit more about the property for those of you that aren't familiar with it. It's 3 stories. We are planning to apply SHPO guidelines to the rehabilitation of the entire building. The address is 27 Summit Street. It's in Philmont, 15 minutes outside of Hudson proper. The total lot size is 1.15 acres. Rentable square feet is 33,428. It is in the Mill District, a district created specifically for this building. So this building is a cornerstone of the architectural and aesthetic heritage of Philmont. So it's a really special project to be able to revamp this building and open it to the public for the first time in this millennium. And the total project cost we were looking at is $22,014,109. So getting to our operators, on the left here, we have the Oberon Group, that is our events operator. They take the majority of the building space and are responsible for the day-to-day operation of the space. So they are both very versed in New York and Columbia County hospitality operations. So in the city, they do the Prospect Park Boathouse, the new museum. They have some really special institutional partners and some really lovely boutique operations of their own. And we think they'll be a really perfect fit for this project, especially because they're one of New York's only sustainable caterers. And with the green ethos we're trying to imbue on site, we think it's a really perfect pairing. And our second tenant, who will not be operating the building, but will be leading the public programming series, is called Loon. They're a nonprofit artist in residency tenant. The curator who has been brought on board was the inaugural curator at Mass Mocha, and we're really excited about both the community programming series and the art series that they will be creating to kind of weave into the existing art landscape upstate.
And just real quick on Oberon, the other thing is that they do have a large presence upstate. They own a significant number of businesses and are building many different businesses in addition to what they have in Accord, New York. So they really fit what we're trying to do here in terms of not just New York City, bring people up from outside of the Columbia County area, but also they have a large presence upstate, even though it's not in Columbia County, it's neighboring counties.
Yeah, and that's also a very good point because Oberon is already experienced in hiring upstate. So even though they'll be able to bring market for hospitality from other counties, they already are doing business operations in the area. Then we're getting to the numbers of our pilot summary. So we are looking for mortgage tax abatement or exemption, sales tax exemption. Value of our total mortgages is 13,600,000. Our expected purchases are 13,600,000, 10,140,000. And our current 2025 assessment is $250,000. Our anticipated assessment based on cash flow is $3 million. So we're looking at an added value after intervention to the project is complete of $2.75 million. With our expected purchases and the value of our mortgages and our real property assessment, we are looking at a sales tax exemption proposed of $800,011, mortgage recording tax exemption of $170,000, and real property tax exemption of $295,000, which would bring to a grand total 10-year exemption value benefit of $1.27 million. This is just a slide summarizing our calculations leading to these numbers. So we start with the assessed value. You see the assessed value increasing by 2% every year. We have our county tax, fire, library tax, and village tax are not exempt per the pilot program, but this is how we came to our real property exemption value. So at the far right, you will see one column for the total tax payment over 10 years that the mill will pay to the county and the total savings that the mill would receive per the pilot program.
And at $250,000 current assessment, the tax is approximately $6,250. So even at the first year with the 50% uniform pilot exemption, with no deviation from our current policy of 10 years, with the 50% exemption in year 1 down to 0 in year 11, basically the section 485B of the real property tax law look-alike, they would be paying almost $36,000 more than they're paying now, even with the exemption. And Antonio did point out that we can modify this schedule for future use, but fire and library and other special district taxes are not exempt and not subject to the pilot, so they would be invoiced separately by the town. Great.
Yes, and that brings to the final slide, which is just the cost benefit analysis from the perspective of the Columbia County IDA. So our 10-year property tax value current assessment, as Mike was saying, at the $250,000 assessment over 10 years, we would end up paying $166,000 in taxes. With the 10-year or with the benefits to the property, the 10-year expected property tax value with the pilot would be 1.8. So the expected property tax benefit to the county would be $1.6 million. Then other benefits include 2 years of construction payroll, associated income tax, 2 years of construction payroll, and 10 years of ongoing payroll, bringing to a total 10-year IDA benefit of $10 million and a cost benefit ratio of 7.96.
Well, thank you. Are there any questions?
On the, your project cost is 22 million and your loan is about 13 million. Where are you getting the rest of the financing?
The rest of the financing is from ownership equity. So the building has already been purchased. We've already gone through planning board approvals, seeker negative determination. So that's a good portion of the remaining capital stack. And then we are also pursuing HTC equity and a type of financing called EB5.
Are they gonna have, mortgages on the property as well?
No, they do not have mortgages on the property as well.
I mean, will they for security?
No.
Okay,
And HTC is the historic tax credit, and EB5 is the program that the pocketbook factory used for part of their financing, which relates to program where for a $500,000 investment in the EB5 center, the investor gets a green card.
okay. Now, do you have a bank in line yet for the loan?
So there's no conventional mortgage on property. So we have, so we're working with CPACE financing where we have, identified a lender for that. We're working with the historical tax credits where we have identified a lender for that, and then the EB5 are private investors.
Okay, so I mean, I'm talking about the loan you're getting before you get the mortgage core and tax exemption. Do you have the lender for that loan yet?
No, so those are going to be that's the CPACE and historical tax credit lenders that are going to be for that. It's not a conventional lender.
Why don't we get your attorney and both the three of us and Nadine on the call,
Sure.
so we can sort that out and be sure we're
Okay, that's fine.
doing it right.
I have a question about the town of Philmont.
Bill.
They're the lead agency, but then it says it's not presented for approval, so where do they stand on the tax benefits?
The village has passed the historic tax. Maybe Nadine, you can help me. It was 444, the real property tax law,
444A.
444A, which is they have their own exemption schedule for the village tax. And we just have to coordinate to see what, that we're consistent with that. But I'm sure that there have been other IDA projects that have been involved where the local municipality has opted into that program. And I'm sure there's a way to dovetail that into the IDA pilot. But what page were you referring? You're referring to the application from your notes, Sarah?
Yes.
So I guess, do you recall where you might have put that if something was pending? I thought you had all of your village planning board approval.
Yes, we do have all of our village planning board approvals. Is there a specific element that you'd like to see or that you have questions about?
I guess, could you reread your notes, Sarah?
Something, I'll have to look at it. It said something like not presented for approval.
Presented for approval. Let's see. I know on the very last page of the application, which is maybe what you're referring to in the summary of the pilot real property tax exemption calculation, I attached a spreadsheet and it says please see attached. I don't know that I.
Well, we'll review the
I
application.
can look at.
We'll review the application and get the question to you. But the village is, or along with the school district, the town and the county.
Here. Says, has the project been presented to the local planning board for approval?
Hey, John.
And page 7,
Okay,
under environmental review committee.
Second. Page 7.
First it says the lead agency is Village of Philmont Planning Board, and then it says, has the project been presented to the local planning board for approval? And it says no.
No,
Oh, my apologies. That
that'd
should
be a
be
yes.
Good catch, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Sorry about that. Yes,
Okay.
we definitely got approval.
And there was some completion date of 2025, but I don't think was right, but.
Yes, so the date of planning board submission and completion is correct. It was March 26, 2025.
Okay. And then your completion date,
Is March 2028.
okay, I think our policy provides for a 3-year completion date,
Okay.
so that we be well under that standard policy.
Oh, it says that page 21, indicate the date the applicant estimates the project will be completed, and you've got September 1st, 2025, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Page 21.
Yeah, you have started construction 2024, and date the applicant estimates project will be completed. If we can adjust those so that it obviously reflects what Alex had said, how long we've been talking with them about the project and when they did their first draft application. But can you get me back dates that you're comfortable with, when you're going to start construction and when you're going to be completed from page 21, and we'll amend the application.
Yes, sorry about that. We'll update those dates.
That's good.
Been such a long time that we we obviously left some numbers in here from our earlier application.
Great. Any further questions from the agency?
I'm sure this was asked early in your process for approval, but I've gone by the property several times in my life. Parking, what's the plan for your parking on this particular project?
Yeah, so that was a major part of our planning approval. So there's two pieces to it. One is there's a parking lot on Elm Street, village parking that the project's going to be able to take advantage of, which is about 0.3 miles, 0.4 miles away. And then we also bought a lot on Summit Street, 49 Summit Street, which is just up the hill from the project, and that has another, I forget the amount, 50 to 100 parking spaces as well. So we have two lots neighboring the property, and we had to make accommodations for making sure people can safely get from those lots to the site.
Now, are these lots involved in this IDA project at all?
Not the one on Elm Street, but the one on 49 Summit Street is, just in terms of paving.
What do you mean payment?
Paving, sorry, paving.
Paving?
Yeah.
So it's involved with this IDA project, 49 Summit?
Do you own the property, or are you leasing it and have an obligation to pay it?
We bought it.
Okay, so do you want it under the IDA's lease? I mean, is it gonna be part of the pilot?
So our thought, maybe that's I don't know if that's a conversation we can have later, but our thought was it might not be needed because we're really not doing much to the site. We're just, paving and putting up lights and leaving
How
it
big is it?
intact.
Paving and putting up lights, but my question is it gonna be under the pilot? Do you want it exempt from the real property, from the regular real property taxes?
More importantly, do you want the $8,000 in or $4,000 in sales tax exempt?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. If we can add it and it wouldn't be too much trouble, that would be helpful.
Okay, so you'll need to revise the application to include that, because
Okay.
we do, after we adopt if the IDA adopts a public hearing resolution for this project, we have to do a public hearing notice. So we have to make sure that the project encompasses everything you want in that public hearing notice, because if it doesn't, then you come back, we have to have another public hearing.
Okay, great. We'll make sure to add that.
Yeah, so give me the tax map number for this 49, the address, obviously I have.
You want the parcel ID?
I'll need the tax map number. You need to revise the application to include the new parcel, the paving.
Okay, will do.
Okay?
Yep.
And then your amounts, your project costs are going to increase as well as your benefits.
Great,
Okay, so you need to revise all that.
will do.
Okay? Thank you.
And update the yeses and nos that we talked about earlier.
Did
Yeah.
I say there's parking on site?
There's,
How
again,
much is
could
on
you
site?
repeat the question is about parking. Could you repeat what you said?
Is it on site?
Go to the map.
How much?
Yeah, so there's almost no parking on site given the size of the property. So if you look at this map, here's the parking lot that we purchased. So you can see two lots. So there is,
This is the lot that we've purchased, and this is 27 Summit Street.
and then you can show them Elm Street.
And then the Elm Street lot is right here.
Yeah. So they're both.
So it gives you a rally, so you don't have to walk to the, from Elm Street.
Little buses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Here, here, and here.
So, and the address of the second parcel is,
49 Summit Street.
any final questions? Nadine, can we, pass the resolution, with, the anticipated amendments?
Yes. We'll adopt this resolution if you all want to. And then when we get the revised application, I'll fix the public hearing notice so it actually reflects what's going on.
Great. We do have, a resolution before you, to schedule, a public hearing on the project. And I would recommend that the board, adopt it.
Do you have a proposed date?
Not yet.
So, great.
So, I think what we would do is, depending on their schedule, we could do it, at a special meeting in November or December. We may need a special meeting in November for the other project I'm about to describe to you.
Right.
You want a motion and
You gotta do it.
little changes?
Yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna need is a motion and a second for the public hearing resolution to be determined which date. As Soon as we get the revised application, need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Who motioned it?
Bill Gerling, and who did the second?
Nina.
Nina
Nina
Finger,
Finger.
Who
and
was
all,
first? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Bill Gerling.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
And we need a roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go around the table. Sarah Sterling,
Aye.
Kathy Puro,
Yes.
Bob Lucio,
Yes.
Bill Gerlach,
Aye.
Brian Keeler,
Yes.
Nina Finger,
Yes.
all in favor.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great. I think that, that concludes the, discussion of the Summit Street LLC project. We're looking forward to working with both Alex and Antonia and their staff. And we thank Nadine for her guidance and counsel today, and, we can, let you all go at this point, or you're welcome to stay and, listen to the next project.
It'd be great working with you guys.
Thank you, really
Nice
appreciate it.
project.
No,
Yeah.
excited. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Bye.
I love these kind of projects.
Well, they're tough, and, the only reason this works. There is a, provision of the law that, precludes IDAs from, approving projects that are retail. And basically, the operation of this facility as, to their tenant, as a banquet hall, is a retail project. There are 5 exemptions that, enable you to, move forward with the project, and that is, the most significant for this project is that it's in a severely distressed area. and the village of Philmont is on the state's designated list of such distressed areas. One of the other exemptions, which you'll recall we looked at in connection with the La Bella project some time ago, was that it would draw people from far and wide. And there's an argument here that that would be true as well with this project, but certainly using the distressed area designation is a much stronger eligibility issue for the qualify for the exemption. The next project that I'd like to bring to your attention is called Fairview Manor. It's located in the town of Claverick. It's I guess the former Claverick College or Claverick Institute. They are working through their planning board and zoning board issues, and they're doing well with those. They are looking to renovate the existing buildings on the site and then add individual, I wouldn't call them cottages, but small hotel room units on the site, such that they would have a 40-room hotel. The total project cost is estimated to be $40 million, which is $1 million a key. Again, when we've done hotels in Hudson, they pencil out very well because there's a 4% bed tax. There isn't a bed tax at the county level. And again, you know, we have not received the application or what the developer might ask for in terms of a pilot, whether they're willing to take the uniform pilot, as this group just agreed to with, you know, the 50% down to the 0% exemption over 10 years, or whether they're gonna ask for a deviation. The two hotels or three hotels that have been approved by the Hudson IDA. Two of them, the Pocketbook Factory and the 620 Union, which 620 Union did not go forward, but they each got 50%, 50%, 40%, 40%, 30%, 30%, down to the zero. So it was a little better than what the 485B schedule that we have in our policy would provide. The group that's proposing the $40 million 40-room hotel at the Elks Club have asked for a significantly more aggressive pilot. It's a 20-year pilot, not a 10-year pilot. And they have proposed to keep the $1.6 million assessed value that is on the property now as a vacant property for 10 years, and calculate the pilot, you know, based on paying full taxes on the unimproved value of the property for the first 10 years. And then from year 11 to 20, continue to pay on the underlying value with a 2% escalator, but only pay 50% of the value of the improvement. We are in the process of, the Hudson IDA has retained Camoin Associates to do an economic analysis to determine, based on their total costs, their construction costs, their operating budget, what rate of return that model is looking at, to see if with that, does that pilot give them a 15% rate of return, or do they need that pilot to get a 7% rate of return? I think that you know, we'll have to see what the developer for the Claverick project proposes. But I do think you know, I would, and I guess, you know, the issue becomes one of optics, but also one of economics. For that project, I think we do need to hire a consultant to be sure that the rate of return, you know, $40 million hotel has to have a $600 plus night room rate. Now, does it, if the does it need a pilot? You know, there's not a hotel that has been built, that I've seen in the Hudson Valley without a pilot. It's just, you know, there could be some, reputational risk of, giving IDA benefits to a project of that size. But at the same time, you know, the Ulster County IDA did, several projects for small boutique hotels, and we're going to look at some of those other examples. But I understand the project is getting reasonable support from the local community, and some of the meetings, planning board meetings have gone relatively smoothly in terms of the public's reaction. But you know, I do think we're going to want to take a look at that. And from a philosophical point of view first, and then based on an economic point of view. We will do an economic development analysis on this project using our model. So that we'll have that in time for the public hearing. And if you're, depending on their time schedule, we could very well do the public hearing at before the December meeting. So that we don't have to have a special meeting. And depending on what timeline is presented in the application that I anticipate receiving from the Fairview Manor project, we might ask you to come in November, based on the timeline. So I do think that it will be interesting to see what they're gonna ask for. But on a $40 million project, you know, if they, you know, 7 times 4, usually 70% of the project costs are eligible on sales tax. So for $30 million, you know, 8% is $2.4 million. But at the same time, it would be the largest private sector investment in Columbia County and since they built the Flanders building. And at this point, Clock Estates is the largest private sector investment in the county since they built the Flanders building. So I do think, you know, I think we should wait to see what they propose before we get into even the philosophical discussion, but I did want to frame it for you, so that we have an opportunity to discuss that as a policy. We do have several potential housing projects in the future. The Greenport housing project is being redesigned as a result of the change in regulations relating to wetlands. Right now, the design that they have doesn't meet the current wetland regulations, which have become very onerous and difficult to work with. It is a 22-acre parcel, so they're hopeful that they can work with their engineers to modify it. But that project is back on hold for a bit. We did discuss and you approved doing the RFP on the audit services. One of the other issues that's come up at the city IDA is should the 1% fee be modified when the project is over $25 million? In other words, you know, there's a certain element of work for each of these projects. Some of the concept of the IDA fee is not just to compensate the agency for its work, but for basically a community benefit fee.
Yeah, when you think in terms that you have to bring in consultants.
Well, they pay for the consultants.
Oh, they do, they
Pay a lawyer,
they front that,
even though, you know, we hire them.
okay.
But other IDAs, and we can get you a schedule for a future meeting. And again, I don't want to necessarily, I want to discuss it philosophically first at the next meeting. But several IDAs are 1% up to 25 million, and anything over 25 million is 25 basis points. Ulster was doing that, and I spoke with the executive director at the Ulster IDA, and she said, Well, when I got here, I decided, if you're gonna do a $40 million project, you can pass the extra, the full 1%. I don't think that, you know, in the thick of things, if you're giving a project of that magnitude a benefit versus not giving them a benefit, you know, the 0.75 basis points on the extra $15 million is not gonna make or break the project. So, you know, and again, if there are IDAs that have, you know, the Hudson IDA had $10,000 in the bank when I got here, and they were going to, the state told them to close down their IDA. Today, they have 750,000 in the bank because we've done 4 projects over that time. So you could be in a position down the road where you have $500,000 to $750,000 in the bank based on these fees. And then you could be using that for economic development purposes, perhaps buying another parcel for expanding the Commerce Center. You know, because there is state money to put infrastructure in that type of a facility that's owned by a government or not-for-profit entity. So there's, you know, I think it's hard to think this way when we're sitting with $50,000 in the bank. But you know, like, again, if you take $15 million, you know, you're talking the difference of $112,000 if you keep the full 1% fee versus reducing it. And you know, on a you know, it's less than 2% of the project. Well, it's 0.002% of the project cost. One of the other things we are going to ask in December is when we're going to ask you to please renew your contract with CEDC for administrative services. You know, as you know, we're getting $1,000 a month to do the administrative work, and we're getting 10% of your fee up to $10,000 for the work we're doing to structure these deals and work with the developer. When the deals were $5, $7, $10 million, that worked. The time I've spent with Summit and the time we are going to spend with them and the time we are working with them on the next group on a $40 million project, we're going to request that we move to $1,500 a month for the administrative services. That would be $18,000 a year, and a 10% up to $25,000. Again, I just wanted to give you visibility to that before the formal request at the next meeting. But you know, these projects, they're great, but they're complicated. You know, what they're talking about here is, you know, they're not able to go out with a project like this and just get a bank loan. So they're going to get, you know, EB5, they're going to get PACE, which is energy financing. And through a state loan fund, and they're going to put in equity, and they're going to get tax credits, and you know, just working through it with the attorneys, it's been difficult. Any questions? Mr. Chairman, if I could ask for just related to a contractual matter, could we just have a brief executive session?
Sure, need a motion, go in executive session,
Motion.
second. Is there any public comment?
No, no one else is on.
Now we need a motion and a second to
Motion,
adjourn.
motion.
Second, Bill.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good, so moved.
Thank you, everybody.
And
Yeah,
thank
good
you.
seeing you, everyone.
And
Good night, Nina, how are you?